Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. It's the last day of May. Hooray! I don't know about you, but I'm very glad. So today, as we gather, and hopefully I'm going to wait a few minutes. There's Margaret. Good morning, Margaret. Wait for some people to show up. The title of the show is We Are No Longer Waiting. And those were sort of my first thoughts as I woke up this morning at well, I know what time it was 4:04. And fours were showing up for me all morning. Before I went back to sleep and woke up a short while ago. It's been a rough month for me. I don't know about you, but it's been, I feel like I've been in the back of a baggage train and it was out of control. I'm banged up physically, I'm banged up emotionally, I'm banged up psychically. But I'm smiling and I'm laughing, and I'm realizing this morning as we close this time frame that each of us are no longer waiting. What does that mean? What is this crazy man talking about now? We are no longer waiting for anything for us to, how do I say this, really start to feel that we're evolving. Okay, so, thank you. Well, it wasn't a bad month. It was a good month. It's just that I get banged up in the process. That sometimes that's the message. We need to take this sort of rough ride to bring us back into awareness and to open up parts of ourselves that we become complacent with, or we no longer recognize, or we've given away to others. We've given our power to others. So sometimes this is the process that we're going through, and this is what it is. And for those of you who have experienced that, that's what my talk is about. For those of you who didn't experience it, bless you. And that's wonderful. And maybe you've already gone through these processes, but maybe once again, we'll go through them again. And this is what I want to talk about, is the fact that evolving and moving forward in our spiritual path and presence isn't always a smooth ride. So those were my words this morning as I just woke up. No longer waiting. And I said, wow, it's finally happening in my conscious awareness. Not that I didn't realize it's been happening all along, but it just took a leap forward that was beyond what I would have thought I was prepared to move through. So without going into all those details, welcome to everybody. Deborah, Alaya, Joni, Leonie, Catherine, Amanda. Bless you all. Bless you all on this last day of May. So first thing I did was I pulled some cards this morning. And as you know, I love these cards here, these sacred space meditation cards that a dear friend gave to me. And the first word was receiving. And receiving, I'll read this. There are many ways in which the universe gives me abundance. I am always open to receive the flow. And isn't that where we should be? In a state of receivance, a state of reception. And how many of us have over the course of this month pulled back and pulled in and put up shields to deflect some of what we were going through or to protect ourselves or whatever. And then so this card is sort of announcing open to receive. The time has come. We're no longer waiting. Let's open to receive. And what is it? Abundance. An abundance of what? What is it that you want to receive in abundance? And to think about that, to sincerely think about what abundance really means to you. It isn't about an amount of dollars. It isn't about a mass of stuff. What is abundance for you? Redefine what abundance means and look at it not as an object, but as an energy. And then when you think you've got it, say, I'm open to receive the flow. And so some of the couple of the affirmations were, I open my heart to receiving love and direction. And this is what's been happening. We've been bouncing around one direction, another direction, and we're all moving forward, but we've been distracted by all these forks in the road and things that have happened to us, things from the past that keep popping up that we have to fix, correct, get rid of, whatever. But they're attracting our attention and our energy, and there's been a big drain. So for me this month, that's been a lot of that. And the next affirmation for that is, as I place my trust in the divine, I draw upon an unlimited supply of success. Wow. Thank you. I need that. But I feel that. I also feel that. I also feel that many of us have these very successful moments that to others may not seem important. But in our own personal paths, they are successful moments, even if they're just minute in comparison to what the world outside of us thinks. So this is what we're carrying forward from May, is those little successes. And it's funny because I just picked up this crystal. I don't know if I can see it on here. Yeah, this little crystal that is on my altar with the little crystals coming out of it. This is where we're at. This is it. This is where these tiny little crystals just forming in our lives to help us manifest that abundance. And that's a perfect example of abundance. That single crystal is now growing smaller crystals from it. We are changing into these beautiful crystalline beings. And the process is easy, and the process is not quick. It's slow. But this is how we have to move, is steadily and firmly forward and activating those crystals that are now growing on us, within us, around us, becoming really that crystalline beauty that we all love so much. Good morning to those of you who have arrived. The second card I pulled is from Kalia, and it's one of her soul inspirations. A real pretty card. She really does these nicely. Who just landed in Jerusalem 10 minutes before I came, or in Israel, but just 10 minutes before I came on here. And they're soul inspiration cards. And it reflected another message. Its message was, shh, quiet down. Before you proceed, look within. You will find all you need to succeed. So here's this gentle message that I pulled that says, out of all this chaos of the month of May, And out of any chaos, there is a place where we just need to quiet down and regroup our energies before we move forward again. So this has been, for me, a month of gathering, of reassessing, of doing everything. I lost everything on one computer. I had to spend a month reclaiming it. I've had every intention of doing things become interrupted without warning. It's been like just bouncing and tumbling and dodging things coming at me and maneuvering. If you felt like that, just trust me, you're not alone. This was the month of May for me, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this. But the message is we made it. We made it. We're done. If anything you did this month was prove to yourself that you are here to survive, and not just to survive, but to grow, to learn, and to look deeper into yourself as to how can I let this all go and not look back. So those are, what I'm feeling, I share with you. Two other cards I pulled, I'm not going to show them. They were Doreen Virtue cards. One was from the deck, Healing with the Angels, and then the other deck below, it's Healing with the Fairies. And I said, it's only fair that I deal with the angels and the fairies today because they've been working with me all month. And so from the angels, the card was balance. Thank you, angels. And that was the message for me the whole month. Stay balanced, Charlie. Stay balanced. Stay in the balance. Don't get pulled way off to one side. Don't get pulled way off to the other side. Find the balance in everything, whether it's positive or negative. Pay attention to the balance. And from the fairies, their message was, be honest with yourself. And that was a talk I did earlier in this month. Excuse me. And in that talk, I think I just finally got to post it yesterday because I've got computers up and running. And it's just amazing how that honesty, and the word went with that was openness that I wrote, was really about opening ourselves and being honest with ourselves at levels that we've been maybe too timid or fearful of exposing, never mind to the world, but to ourselves. Because we do this, we have done this over and over again, repeated these patterns of denying ourselves the full abundance of all that we are. We are abundance. And it's time we started showing up as that abundance. So those are my words. No longer waiting. It's here. It's now. We are here. We are now. We're not what we've been told we are. We're learning that everything that we thought that we were, really we are. And that those parts of us that we've been told diminish us in some form, shape, manner, or level are slow, well, no, I'm not going to say slowly, some of them are bubbling up to be released, to be let go of. And this is what we're doing right now, is we're taking all this garbage that's within us, all these impurities, in any shape, manner, or form, and like the bubbles in champagne, let them go. Let them go. They can't serve us anymore in any shape, manner, or form. They no longer fit into the new beings we are inviting ourselves to be. So, first, words came at me 100 miles an hour. So I sit and write them down and I think about them, and I'll explain those right now. The first two, they came in pairs, was loyalty and mastery. What does that mean for you? What is loyalty and mastery? Well, when we think of loyalty and mastery, we think of, or at least I have always been trained to think, that you're loyal to someone else, or you're the mastery, somebody else, you're trying to achieve the mastery of somebody else. And so loyalty and mastery has always been expressed outside of myself. Now we're looking for the loyalty and mastery within ourselves and honoring ourselves for our loyalty and mastery. These are the keys of our future. Patience and passion. How do you have patience and passion? They almost sound like opposites. How can you be patient if you're passionate? Yet this is what the balance card was about, was balancing the patience and passion within us so that we can succeed in understanding who we are in every moment of our journey. Honesty and openness was, as I said, a talk I did a couple of weeks ago, or something to that effect. And again, it's popped up again. Honesty and openness. This ability to not fear our honesty. Many of us as children were honest and we were told, you're a liar. Yeah, you're just talking fantasy. You're a dreamer. We've called everything, but we were speaking our truth and nobody heard us. They didn't listen. They didn't care. They were so stuck in their own little hamster wheel that they just wanted us to ride the hamster wheel with them. And so we did. We did that unknowingly because we were children. And now we're at the age of beauty and wisdom and looking back and saying, I no longer have to hold that back. And if someone doesn't believe me, that's not my problem. But I will never not believe me again. And as far as openness, I will be as open as I possibly can and start to recognize immediately those who are just going to judge me. And I don't have to share anything with them because they're so closed within their own denial that they're never going to be honest with themselves. So I may drop a tidbit here and there. I'm not going to over berate myself if they deny the truth or they ridicule me for my truth. This is where we're at. We're no longer waiting. We're here to shine. We're here to speak. We're here to enjoy each other, to embrace each other. I'm probably lecturing now. I'm sorry. That's what I do. So we had honesty and openness, illumination and healing. So what do we do when we illuminate? We light up, we illuminate, we become the illumination, we become the light. And in that process, we heal and we heal others automatically. Catherine saying we underestimated and undervalued ourselves. Yes, we have. And it's okay to recognize that. And it's okay to accept that and say, you know what? Now that I recognize that, I can start to look for the ways I've done that. And I can work on changing those thought patterns. And I can call myself out silently and say, oh no, not going there again. That was then, this is now. We're moving on. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for you to give me the okay, past. I'm not waiting for you. I'm all done waiting. I'm moving on. I have the energy of the universe supporting me. I have the divine abundance supporting me. So illumination, and the next pair of words were elevation and success. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We're beginning to elevate ourselves. I'm seeing the elevator rising. We're elevating ourselves. We're rising. And in that rising, we're becoming more and more successful at loving ourselves. How can we love others if we can't love ourselves? It's a simple remedy. Love yourself, and automatically you will love others. But we have to open our hearts. We have to think about this. Last two words, synchronicity and relationship. So in all of our activities in the world, there is always synchronicity and relationship. The synchronicity comes to us as a language. It's a language from higher dimensions of ourselves in order to keep us saying, keep going, or, it's a message, it's a language. It really is a language. And if we really feel into that, we'll realize, we'll start to learn to look for that language everywhere in every action we do. And so this is the whole thing. When the synchronicities are, the lights are green, go. And if the synchronicity is a negative, it says stop. I mean, it's really simple. It's really without words. We no longer need words. The synchronicities are the guideposts. I remember putting out street lights with my energy. That was a synchronicity. That was the universe talking to me, telling me, keep going, we're with you. Who was with me? I was with me. My higher self was with me. My guides, my angels, my support team was with me. And the message was, keep going. And in that moment, I began a relationship with everything, from an ant to a goddess, because there was no better, no worse. Everything had an important message if I was willing to look for the synchronicities. Okay, a few minutes left. So what's happening to us right now is this quick forward surge of energy. It's somewhat amorphous and very exhaustive, and definitely challenging to define. We're receiving what some people call the God force or cosmic energies of creation. It's the divine creation process, be it any way you want to see that, reaching out to us and saying to us, I love you, I support you, and I want to see you become the full expression of who you are. Let's see. Thank you all for showing up. You're beautiful. I love your comments. I don't get to talk and comment on them, but I do always send you love afterwards when I read them. The words, there was 5 statements that came, I guess you would call them statements, after I went through this process of coming to looking and receiving cosmic energies of creation and the God force. Is they're the energies of eternity and infinity, of oneness and wholeness, peace of mind in purpose, inner support and guidance for a new beginning. Joy and compassion for ourselves and others. I'm going to just put those. Okay. I'm going to put that whole phrase right there. If I can copy it. Yeah, it says copy. Okay. Write a comment. Here we go. I can do this. And hopefully it went somewhere. Hopefully it's showing up. This is what we're doing, is we're inviting this. This is the abundance. Okay. And for me, the question has been through this whole thing is, how come it feels like everything is falling apart? And my guides and angels have said to me, don't look back at what you think or you feel may have been a loss. Yes, it's there. And the more you look at it, the more you bring it with you. And so their message to me continually, and many of you I'm sure will agree with that, is that, yeah, we've got to let go of the problems, the sadness, the suffering. It's not easy. Many of us have people we've lost in our lives. Many of us have illnesses that are still debilitating. We're still debilitated by. But know that this is a new beginning, that we have a new threshold that we can walk across and embrace a newness, even with some of our, what we would perceive as limitations or sufferings. And the whole process of this, it boils down to this. It's letting go of fear and control. It's not an easy task, but it's imperative. We can't move if we're still holding on to all of those attachments that are holding us back from moving forward. So like I said in the beginning, I was like this trunk or box in this freight train bouncing around. There was nothing holding me. The strings were gone. The strings had broken. I wasn't aware that there were strings. I wasn't aware of where I was. But it happened automatically because of my desire to be free, to be sovereign. And so this week, the message many times came up as really about my sovereignty, about honoring who I am as this divine being in this physical body. It's all about creating a space of harmony and balance within ourselves, of oneness and wholeness. For oneness and wholeness to reside in us, it doesn't have to always be out. This is the message. We are to be that oneness and wholeness. This is what we're transforming into. We will become the holder or upholder of this energy. And in doing that, we'll continually embrace each other and lift them as well. So there will be old frustrations, there'll be pain, there'll be all kinds of emotions coming, arising, physical symptoms, financial issues, whatever. These are all attachments to the old paradigm. We're rising through this. We're rising through all of it. My guide's saying, you become Teflon. I have one guy he thinks he's a comedian anyway. I find him humorous. But we're becoming Teflon coated. So our choices now really rise around not trying to forget, but to let the energies we have invested in for our lifetimes all come back to us to assist us through this time frame to be here and to allow them to rise and move through us. In that process, as we empty ourselves, automatically that flow of abundance will replace all of that emptiness that we think we can't let go of something because we'll be empty, but it will already be filled by the abundance, by the love, by the kindness and the joy of who we are within our own hearts. Tear down the wall around your hearts. Tear it down. We have people who want to build walls. It ain't gonna work. Never has worked. Never worked for us when we built the wall around our hearts either. And we're realizing this. All it did was separate ourselves from the truth of who we are. It's time now to realize that if we listen to our intuition, our higher self, our guides, trust ourselves and our hearts and how they feel, and in every decision we make, then we know that, and we learn that we become the source of our own inspiration. And in doing that, we transition and transform on our way to transmutation into a race of humans that no longer want to kill each other, that no longer want to hurt each other, that no longer want to look at each other as the enemy. This is our gift. This is the journey we're on. And I embrace every single one of you with my heart, my soul, my mind, everything I have to offer. Because I know inside of you, there is this beautiful, amazing being of resonance that the universe is crying at its utmost, loudest voice to say, I love you, I thank you, and I respect you. I hope June brings us many wonderful gifts. And I know that each week that I come on here is a gift for me to be here with you and share what I feel from my heart and let you know that, yeah, there are people out here that are really not afraid to speak this and are afraid not or to be judged by others for saying what comes through their hearts and their minds. And if anything, I hope that I encourage you to listen to your own inner voices, your own guidance, your guides, and trust in your own sovereignty to say, I no longer have to fear. No longer have to fear what other people or what others are thinking or doing around me. I am okay. And not only am I okay, I'm moving forward again. I'm no longer waiting. With that, I'm complete. I love you all. I bless you all. Thank you all for showing up. And for those of you who listen in the future, may you be blessed with whatever words or whatever energies came through me for you. It's my joy and my pleasure to be here and pour my heart into your existence. With that, I'm complete, and thank you. I will post this on my blog, and I will post it on my Facebook page as soon as I close. And may you all have a wonderful last day of May and a blessed June. Thank you. I love you. Bye-bye.